So, you want to build some real confidence when you speak English? Well, you're in the right place. In the next few minutes, we're going to build a practical roadmap to get you speaking with real fluency. Let's jump right in.
Does this sound familiar? You know the words, you get the grammar, but when it's actually time to speak, it's like they're all just trapped in there. You're not alone. Believe me, it's an incredibly common feeling. But the good news? There's a key, and we're going to find it.
And yeah, we are going to unlock those words together. Forget about trying to memorize endless grammar rules. The real path to fluency, it starts with one small, totally achievable step, just telling a simple story.
Okay, so first things first, we need to build a solid foundation. Here's a little secret. Our brains are literally wired for stories. So if you want to hold long conversations later, the trick is to master the short story first. You're basically hijacking how your brain naturally works, and you're about to see just how easy it is.
Think about it. Every story you've ever heard, from a huge Hollywood movie to a quick joke, follows this pattern. You've got the beginning, that's the who and where. Then you've got the middle, that's the action, the main event. And finally, the end, how it all wraps up. That's it. That's the core of all storytelling.
So, how do you connect those three parts? Well, you use these things called linking words. Seriously, think of them like glue for your story. They guide your listener from the beginning through the middle all the way to the end. They're what turns a bunch of separate sentences into a smooth, flowing story.
Let's look at it in action. First, Mia found a stray puppy. Boom, that's our beginning. Then she gave it some water, and after that, she built a small bed for it. That's our middle, the action part. And finally, the puppy slept happily. There's our ending. See how those simple words just string the whole thing together into a perfect, clear little story?
All right, once you've got that basic story structure down, the next step is all about building a habit. And here's the thing. The secret to making real progress isn't about spending hours practicing just once a week. It's all about small, consistent effort, day after day.
5. That's it. Just 5 minutes a day. That is all it takes. I'm telling you, that little bit of focused practice every single day is way more powerful than one long, stressful session on a Sunday. It builds the habit without all the pressure.
But okay, what do you even talk about for 5 minutes? Try these out. They're simple, real-world prompts. The key here is variety. One day, you describe a photo. The next day, you explain how to make your breakfast. This keeps it fresh and honestly super practical.
And to make it even easier, you could follow a simple weekly plan. Something like this. You're practicing a different little skill each day, and then on day 7, you get to sit back and reflect on how you did. This whole structure is just designed to build momentum, to get you rolling.
That day 7 reflection brings us to a really crucial step, self-review. The fastest way to get better at anything is to become your own coach, to really listen and understand your own strengths and where you can improve. This process is it's a game changer. Just record yourself talking for a minute or two on your phone, and then listen back, but listen with a purpose. Ask yourself, okay, what did I do well there? And then what's just one little thing I can work on for next time? This little rubric here can help you focus your listening. Just ask yourself 3 things. 1. Was my speech easy to understand? That's your clarity. 2. Did I speak pretty smoothly without too many long pauses? That's your fluency. And 3. Did I use some interesting words? That's vocabulary. These are your key metrics for tracking your progress.
And this right here, this is probably the most important part of the whole thing. Do not be hard on yourself. A coach looks for strengths to build on and gives helpful feedback. A critic just points out all the mistakes. You need to be a coach. You have to celebrate those small wins.
So, you've built a solid foundation, you've created a daily habit, and you've learned how to be your own coach. Awesome. So what's next? How do we keep this momentum going and really take your skills to the next level?
Here's a little toolkit for long-term growth. Use language apps to find actual people to talk to. Read simple books out loud. It really helps with flow. Listen to beginner podcasts. And you have to try the shadowing technique. That's where you listen to a native speaker and you just repeat exactly what they say, right after them, like a shadow. It's incredible for your rhythm and pronunciation.
So what does this actually look like over time? Well, here's a pretty clear 3-month plan. In month 1, you're just focused on making that daily solo practice a solid habit. In month 2, you start adding in short chats with a partner, and then by month 3, the goal is to have a confident 15-minute conversation every single week. And just look at the journey right there. You start with a simple goal, just build a daily habit.
3 months later, you're holding a confident 15-minute chat. That isn't some far-off dream. It's the direct result of taking those small, consistent steps. The progress is absolutely real.
At the end of the day, mastering spoken English isn't about making one giant leap. It's about taking that first small step, and then another one tomorrow, and another the day after that. Your journey to fluency, it starts right now, with one simple decision to begin.
So, I'll leave you with just one question. What simple 3-part story are you going to tell?